Hello. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. Sorry. I wanted to make a really good video today about my creams that I make with aloe vera and other certain products that I grow or I have naturally at home, and just so tired because as I told you, I met somebody, a really nice guy. And it's not like you can imagine. It's not like falling in love and just thinking about him, wanting to be with him all the time. It's not like that at all. He's a nice guy. I really like him. But I met him on Sunday. We spent all Sunday together. And Monday, yesterday, he came to my village and I thought we were just going to spend like a few hours together. We spent virtually all day together until maybe 7 o'clock in the evening when I literally had to say, I've got to go home, I've got stuff to do. And then I came home. And then today he's supposed to have, well, he has got a friend coming from northern France. And so I thought, okay, that's good. Today I'm going to get on and do all my stuff, like make my creams and things like that. And it's about 10 o'clock. He said, oh, my friend's going to be delayed, not going to be arriving until about 6 o'clock tonight. He said, do you want to go and have lunch? Because we actually there is a cafe, really quite a good one as well, that is in between where we both live. So like three minutes drive each. And it's right in the middle. So, and also I did have to go and see my dad today in the home. And I told him that's what I was doing. And he said, and then afterwards we could go to the home together because he's got to see his mum in there as well. So I said, okay, then let's do it. And so we met, we had lunch, we went to the home. And honestly, what time is it now? 3:30. And I've just got back. And now it's almost too late to start doing something. And I'm so tired. It's just, we're not doing anything. We are talking and we're investing in each other, but I'm so tired. I don't know if it's an age thing. I'm just so tired. And when I get back, I can't even focus on anything. Can't focus on doing one thing. But I guess that's a good thing as well, because that means that I've actually got a life now. I wanted a life, and I've got a life. I think if I achieve all my things on my list, I probably haven't got a life. And now I'm just counting my list. I've got 7 things on my list today, and I've done one, and that was go and see my dad in the home. So I've got 6 things, and they're quite important things that I have to get done administration wise as well. So I'm just feeling at the moment a bit overwhelmed, and I am really happy to have a guy that's very local to me in my life. I really am. But he did ask me what my YouTube channel is, and I said, you can't go on there. And I said, I don't even really want anyone to go on there. I said, it's more or less for me or for people that are literally devastated by losing somebody or a relationship or both, like me, or something like that. And so anyway, I told him not to go on it. So now I'm going to talk about him, because when you meet somebody, normally, I mean, I've never been 63 before, so I don't know. The last time I met my ex-boyfriend, I was 58. I felt instantly, as soon as he held my hand, the very first coffee we had together when we met, I just felt this enormous. It was just magnetic. It was something like, oh my God, it's like he touched my soul, and he only held my hand, and I felt it. And even when I first met him, I didn't. I was kind of disappointed because I could smell he was a smoker, and I wasn't a smoker at all. And also, he was a little bit scruffy looking. Hadn't really made an effort, considering it was a date. He hadn't made any effort. But later on, I got to realise that he actually does wear tracksuits quite a lot because he does a lot of sport. But when I met him, it was so magnetic. I didn't even want to let him go. I think he was ready to go after the coffee, and I said, well, where are you going? And he said, well, would you want to do something? It's like it was me that wanted to. I just wanted to stay with him, and honestly, I fell in love with him straight away. Oh my God. And I just wanted to be with him. And I'm going to get emotional. I'm not going to get emotional. But the whole 5 years that I was with him, even though for at least the last 2 years it was really bad, and we kind of separated for a day or two, never, no longer. And but we knew it wasn't the end. We just like, it was just, we didn't want to argue, so I came back to my house a few times. And even though it was bad, I never lost any love for him. Nothing. It didn't touch that at all. Even though I sometimes hated him, and I told him, I can't stand being with you. It's just awful. It's like torture. And he was saying worse things to me, but I loved him. And it's like, how can that be? And now I've met this guy. He's on paper 10 times the man that my ex-boyfriend is. And he's so sensible. He's just somebody, you cannot imagine how this man is single. He's got to have something, there's got to be a bad point about him, because honestly, he's just fabulous. He's probably, apart from my ex-husband, he's going to be the best guy I've ever met. Even, not even dating, but ever. But there's no chemistry. Nothing. And sometimes, and often, he comes to kiss me. He comes in for the kiss regularly, and I'm not happy about it. I do kiss him, but I just think, oh God, okay, kissing, get it over. But he sometimes, his tongue comes in and everything, and it's like, and he says, oh, I love your kisses, I love your lips, you're really soft, and and I don't feel that at all. But I do really like him. I think apart from that, he's got everything. But anyway, so I started thinking about it. And last night I was thinking, oh, I've got to have a look on the internet to see if I'm not going crazy, because I think real love, real deep love, it's not possible to live with that person. I just don't think you can have peace when you have real love, because I didn't have any peace with my ex-boyfriend at all. And anyway, and I found something on the internet, and it said, love, real deep love, more often than not brings intense emotion, vulnerability and conflict rather than automatic calm. And I completely agree with that. By the side of that, there's a list of, and they're mainly German philosophers, and there's a couple that I do know, and I think I've got one of their books, so I'm going to start reading it, because like we all associate great love, like being really in love and having a great relationship with great love, and a great relationship gives you calm and peace, and you stay with that person forever. But I don't think it's true. I think we're being led a lie, and that's why maybe so many relationships don't work, because maybe, I don't know, maybe if it's equal, but even then I don't think it could be equal. There's always going to be one person who feels more vulnerable, and who feels like more emotional. I was completely emotional with him, and he used to tell me, you're too emotional. And because he was absolutely not emotional at all. There was no, even when his mum died, and he loved his mum, he was so close to his mum, I didn't see anything. He didn't even show, certainly he didn't cry, but didn't even show any sadness. Obviously he did have sadness, of course. He's not a a robot. Of course he did, but he's very good at not showing emotion. It's quite hard. And maybe he grew up, because he did have a hard childhood, and maybe that's part of his childhood. But I think because he was like that, and I'm completely the opposite. I cry at sad films, and and I think he was just like, oh God, no, you're far too emotional. But I was emotional. And what else did I write? Yeah, I thought, because this is what I wrote before I looked on the internet, this is what I typed in the internet, because this is what I thought last night. Is the love of your life peace? Is it peaceful? That's what I meant. When you're with the love of your life, is it peaceful? Because I said, I think it's not. And anyway, I'll continue to read what it says. It said, you can find tranquility in a partner, that's true, but the raw reality of caring deeply for someone, i.e. soulmate, frequently disrupts our inner stability, opens us up to grief, and forces us to face our deepest fear. And I had, for about at least 2 years, I lived with the deepest fear that he was going to leave me, because he was often looking on dating sites. And I know you must be thinking, she's stupid staying in that relationship. Yeah, I was stupid, but you always think, well, he's going to stop, he's going to change. People don't change. And yeah, and I think the people that have real successful relationships, they have something much more. They have love, okay, they have love to a certain extent, but I think they have something completely different. Really good organization. One fills a role that the other one needs to be filled, and then vice versa. And they're like a team, and they need each other. But that's not love. That's not necessarily love, is it? It's not. Because today, I know that my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, is not good for me. It's not that he's not good for me. We don't really share common interests, and it was hard being with him. I put up with a lot, and I would never go back to him. And then this guy, Christian, the new guy, he's so lovely. He's just like an angel. But I love my ex-boyfriend. I don't think I can love Christian because I love my ex-boyfriend. It's crazy. How crazy is that? How can you love somebody that hurts you? But you can. You absolutely can. Because maybe, I don't know, I'm going to get emotional. I'm not going to get emotional. I think real love, somebody can do something to you so bad and drastic that you still love them. Because look at all abused people in the world that have stayed in a relationship or stayed married to someone who abuses them. And maybe it's because, okay, sometimes it's because they have to, because they don't have any financial independence. But other times, I think it could be because they love that person. And what is love? What is love? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to read in the rest of my notes because, yeah, that's another thing I wrote last night. I haven't looked this up on the internet yet, so I can't really comment on it. But okay, so when I think you love somebody, and like it says, you're unstable. You just live kind of an unstable life, I think, because yeah, you're always waiting either for something to happen. You're always thinking something bad's going to happen, or sometimes there's a conflict that you can see it's going to come and you don't want it to come because you don't want it to spoil things, but you know it's inevitable, and it happens, and you know that maybe you love that person too much and that it's not reciprocated, and that's okay. But if one day they decide they don't want to be with you anymore, you're going to be devastated. And so for me, love it's not in your head. It's literally this part of you here that burns, uncontrollable burning sensation that you just can't get rid of it. It's like acid. It just burns away at you. And I don't know if it is in your heart. I guess it is, but it's in this top half of your chest, going to like just under your chest. And I had that when we had arguments. I had it. It's not butterflies. It's a real burning. And then when he left me, I had it for at least 5 to 6 weeks, non-stop. Couldn't get rid of it, and it is burning because I lost weight. It burned fat. I was eating a lot because I didn't want to lose weight because I didn't feel hungry. So I kept eating and eating. It was just burning off me. So it is a burning feeling, and when I was with him, yeah, this is really freaky. So when I was with him, sometimes, especially when my parents were living here, you might be wondering what that is. I'll tell you later. I didn't have a thing for my hair, so I've tied my hair up with some wire. When my parents were living here, I'd see him. God, that's so bad. I would see him on a Sunday morning. He would come here, pick me up. My parents stayed here on their own on the Sunday. We'd go to Vide Grenier's, like boot sales. And I loved it. I looked forward to it. Got ready in the morning. He came pick me up. This is like, we'd been together even 4 years. This is going back just 1 year. And then he'd pick me up. We'd go and spend all day together. And then around 5 o'clock, he'd drop me off and he'd drive back home. And the moment I saw his car drive off, I just wanted to die. That's fucking weird. I just felt like he'd taken my heart, basically, and that I was empty. And I had loads to do. It's not like I had nothing to do. I had to come in here. I was making dinner for my parents and, seeing to them, seeing if they were all right, especially in winter, keeping the fire going and stuff. But I just felt like he took me, a part of me, the biggest part of me. And I cannot explain that. Can't explain that. But anyway, when he left, I had that burning. And as the night progressed, it kind of lessened a bit. But it was just, do you know what I can explain it like is when you go to the airport, you're taking your family or your children or your best friend to the airport because they're going to go back home. And then you wave goodbye to them and then you leave. They've left. So they're on a journey. They're going back to their home and they're fine. But you are left there and they take a part of you with them. And you feel instantly deflated. And it was exactly like that. And he was only an hour away and he was coming back or maybe I'd go there like the next day or 2 days later, or he'd come here and we were together when we weren't separating or anything. But even in the relationship, I felt that. So it's that burning sensation, and I think that is where love is. It's there. It's not in here. This is more the relationship now that I'm gonna have. My next relationship is gonna be with this, not with this, because I'm sensible. I'm gonna be sensible. I'm not letting sexual desires sway me to a certain person. I'm using my head. I've worked on myself. I know what I say I know what I need. I know what I don't need, but I think I'm what everybody says this is how you should be. Get to know somebody. Make sure all the important things are there. And that's what I'm doing. But there's no chemistry. And at my age, I think I don't need it. That's what I think. Yeah, and I wrote that burning sensation that I had with him It only calms down when you're with when I'm near him. When I was near him, when we were together, even if we were doing nothing, when I was in his house, even if he was busy doing stuff and I was just reading or sunbathing or watching a series, not together, even in a different room, I was so happy. So fucking weird. I was so happy, even though we shared nothing. We shared nothing. I couldn't watch French films because I just don't. It's not that I don't like French films, but on the TV, on French TV, they didn't have Netflix or anything. On French TV, terrestrial TV, the French films nowadays, in general, are really stupid, I could say. And I couldn't really watch them. And I don't mind him watching them, and he loves TV, and he would watch anything, even if it wasn't good, even if afterwards he said, "Oh yeah, that was crap," he'd still watch it. So I didn't have a problem with that. So we didn't share that, and yet he watched TV after dinner every night, and from about 8 o'clock till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, 5 hours, I'd be in another room reading, or sometimes I used to do dressmaking or speaking to friends or watching a series as well, or sleeping. And I was absolutely fine with that. Now I know he wasn't fine with it. But then in the morning I get up, I'm an early riser, I'd get up really early, 7 or 8, and he was up at 11. And then he stopped smoking in the last month that we were together, but all the time before that he was a smoker, at least a packet every 2 days. And he'd have a coffee, have 2 cigarettes, 2 coffees, 2 cigarettes. So nothing ever happened before midday. So we didn't have lunch, we didn't really have breakfast, and then we'd go out and do something. So we spent time together, like from maybe midday, 1 o'clock, to say 4 o'clock, and we'd have something to eat out, and or bring something back, and see his cousin or his friend, or go for a walk with the dog. And then at 4 o'clock there's a very interesting antique program on French TV, and he used to love it, so we watched that. And then I'd either go shopping or prepare some dinner, and then we'd have dinner at 7, and that was it. And that was basically our routine. We didn't do anything more than that. We were quite good coffee goers. Coffee shop, we went to many coffee shops. We used to always, in fact every day, we went and had a coffee in a coffee shop with a cake or a sandwich or something like that, a cigarette outside or 2. And we loved doing that. We did. But I mean, that's, especially when he stopped smoking, we didn't really want to do that. And anyway, we stopped doing that. But other than that, and just going walking in the park or around the lake, there's a couple of places we went with the dog for about an hour. We didn't do much at towards the end. We didn't do that much because we were very happy to go antique hunting and going to vide grenier's, the boot sales and things like that, but they're mainly on a Sunday, so we didn't really have a life. But I was really happy. I was happy like that. Sometimes we didn't eat the same food because he is more like a cannibal. He eats sometimes meat twice a day, and I've been a vegetarian all my life, sometimes a virgin on vegan. And right now, this year, I decided to start eating meat. But I don't eat it every day, and I don't eat any meat, and I certainly don't like pork. But we often didn't even eat the same things, and sometimes we used to go to the supermarket and he'd buy his things and I'd buy my things, because I'd rather spend more money on good quality vegetables and fruit and certain things like that, and he'd rather just buy meat and cheese and things that he liked. So sometimes it got to that. So I guess you could say at the end of the day we were like two people renting, but sharing a house. but two separate people. I guess you could say we were like that. And I was happy. So worked that one out. I was happy with him, even though he was sometimes nasty to me. He was looking for other women, and quite rightly so, as we didn't really share a life. Okay, I can't be angry at that, because we didn't really share a life. And it's really, really difficult to understand why I'm like that. And I think, so thinking about all of it, knowing that now I don't ever want to repeat a relationship like that, and I know I will never get into another relationship like that, because it was the relationship that was bad. And I think individually, me and him are good people. Deep down, we are good people, but we kind of brought out the worst in each other because we didn't force, but we were determined to stay together to see if our relationship would get any better, knowing that it was all the time getting worse. And so I think it was a relationship that was bad, and that we individually, maybe he did love me a little bit like I love him. I don't know, but you can't live like that. You can't live like that. And I'm trying to think of other times, because I did love my husband, and I still love my husband, and I couldn't live with him either, because we already had separate lives. Maybe 2 years after moving to France, we had separate lives. He was in a totally English enclave of people, and because I was going to the school with children, I made a lot of French friends, and I wanted to learn the language, and I wanted to integrate, because eventually I wanted to work, and this was my new life. And I was so against just staying in a French community, an English community in France. So that's why we separated, and I did leave my ex-husband, and it mainly was for that reason. So there you go. I guess my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend, this one, are the only two people I think that I've ever really, really loved. And I left the first one, and the second one left me. And what can you do? Do you stay alone? I don't want to be alone. Well, I want to be with somebody, and it's not difficult to find. Honestly, it's not difficult. I kept saying in my videos, don't go dating at the beginning, because I had the first 2 dates I had were awful. Well, they weren't awful. The first one I had was awful, and he started stalking me and saying abusive things on the phone, because I didn't want to see him and I wasn't replying to him. And then the second one was alright, as I told you already. He was alright, but he certainly wasn't my cup of tea. But the date was okay, and he said that I was too negative about France and French people. And it's true, and it's not really, I'm not really that negative, but you have to point things out, because I don't need to tell one English person the negative points about France, because everybody sees it. You just don't need to. But French people think you're just like criticizing them, and it's not a criticism. I'm not even saying anything really bad. I'm just saying we're different. Anyway, so I did say don't go dating, and I only went on to Tinder because a friend told me. She said, "Oh, just go on it. Honestly, it's the better side, and you don't have to speak to anyone." And since I went on there, God, it wasn't even long ago. How long was it? What are we now? It was about 4 or 5. No, it was about 5 days ago. Maybe 5 days ago, I went on there, and I could have had about. I mean, I matched with over 50 people, but in my area I could have had at least 10 dates. Maybe half of them were decent, like, not, I'm saying decent looking, but people that really were a match for me, because sometimes they're a match but they don't actually say anything about themselves. So anyway, so if you do go, I'm not saying definitely don't go now, because at the beginning, yes, this is good. I'm into my 3rd month of being single, but I'd say definitely not in the 1st month. In the 2nd month, if you know you're not grieving too much, yeah, maybe. And in the 3rd month, yeah, go ahead. But you know, there's loads of. It's easy to find someone, and it's easy to find someone who wants a lot of what you want as well, because yeah, Tinder, there's a lot of people just wanting sex, but they say it so you just avoid those people if that's not what you're looking for. But I'd say most people are wanting a serious relationship. I've spoken to English people who live around Toulouse, maybe one was near Bordeaux and one was north of Toulouse, English guys, and they said, you know, they were worried about going on Tinder because it's got such a bad reputation, and really nice guys. You know, and one guy was flying, used to fly the Concorde, and really interesting, really interesting. But as I said in my video, not yesterday, the day before, I decided to go ahead with this guy because literally, and I can't say it's the only reason, because he's not bad looking, but you don't know what they're like until you meet them. But just judging from his photos, he's not bad look. Yeah, I thought he's not bad looking, and also he lived 10 kilometers from me, so yeah, I had to meet him. I had to, and like I said, we've met every day since. I'm exhausted because I'm not getting anything done, but I'm happy to meet him, and maybe that chemistry will come the more I get to know him, and the further I get from my ex-boyfriend. I really don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to keep you updated on that. And, you know, if anybody has any ideas or any suggestions or any comments on what love really is, you know, you can contact me, or you can just comment, because I think this is something that I'm really going to investigate. I love researching, you know, human behavior and human thought, and you know, who we are, because I always need to really know who I am. I need to know everything that I think I need to analyze, and not just analyze it, but analyze, you know, analyze it to get to know me better. And anyway, just having a quick read of any more notes I made. Yeah, I put at the bottom here. I've put at the bottom that I don't know if I can get rid of my ex-boyfriends from inside me, because I think at the moment I can't get Christian, is the new guy's name. I can't get Christian in my heart because it's already filled with my ex-boyfriend. I need to get my ex-boyfriend out of there to get Christian in there. And I don't know if that's going to take time. I don't know how to work that, but all I can say is that I know for sure it's not in our control. It's not in my control. It's something outside. It's an outside the universe control. And maybe one day it's just going to happen like that, or it's never going to happen at all, and just going to have a relationship where I can never love Christian. Not really, but I could be with him. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, and it's probably the most boring video you've ever watched, but I just wanted to share it with you because, number one, I wanted you to know everything about me, and like this is part of reinvention and part of moving forward, and also that I'm the reason why I'm not actually doing any videos that I said I was going to do. Like, I want to show you how I make some fabulous creams and things like that. And it doesn't even look like I'm going to be doing it anytime soon, because tomorrow I've got to take my car to the garage in another town, and I'm going to be commenting on that because I'm going to be without a car for 3 weeks. And then the day after, I'm going to the hairdressers and I want to change my image a little bit. So I'm going to be commenting on that. And then the weekend, that's Thursday. Then on Friday, I'm going to try and do some creams, because at the weekend, I'm going to go to a vide grenier where you go inside people's houses, and it's called a déballement. It means getting rid of everything. And everybody in this village, so I've been there before, they have their doors open, garden gates open. Sometimes it's just garden things they're selling, but most of the time they open their front doors, and there are certain things in their house that they want to sell, and they just put tags on them. And you can, I mean, for someone who likes looking at houses, it's great because it's a nice village. There's loads of lovely houses there, and you can literally just go around people's houses and see what's for sale, and you can see what their houses are like, and you can get ideas, and you can meet people, and it's really good. So I want to do that on Saturday, and I want to video it, and then in the evening, if all goes well, either me on my own, I'm going to Toulouse to go out for the night with a girlfriend, or I'm going to go to Toulouse with Christian, and we're going to go out with my girlfriend and her new boyfriend. She met the same day I met mine, so it will be fun, and I just hope that's going to happen. And anyway, love to you all.